Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back, baby. Hey, we got more of the DT trials. More. Oh, man, we got 10 recent shocking details about Diddy's freak-offs. So, pertaining to what we have heard so far in the case, I think we all got a visual aspect of understanding what the freak-offs are, right? Mm-hmm. So all the rumors and everything that's been told over the years seems to be a bunch of lies of what we all thought you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Cause you remember what everybody used to talk about? Oh, he got a bunch of girls. If you stay for the after party, and after the party is the after. Yeah. You know, and after the party is the hotel lobby. That's what R. Kelly said, not Diddy. But pertaining to the FOs and what him and Cassie were doing, I think we got a full understanding of what was going on. Mm-hmm. We looked at his breakdown of his charges the other day, and we believe. I think we kind of came to a conclusion that we do believe he's going to be serving some time. Yeah. But we couldn't come to a conclusion on what. It was just like more so like what he's going to be like, what's going to be able to be like to stick.
Yeah. The amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. But this ain't about the case, man. It's about the freak house.
Right.
Freak house.
Which is about the case, but not about. Yeah.
True. Y'all let us know in the comments, y'all, how y'all feeling about the case, man. The updated details. It's a lot. So if you have to tune out, please tune out for your sanity, and then dial back in and get caught up with everything. Again, I will say if you are like planning to keep yourself updated, watch multiple sources, not just lean into a source of yours because you like the individual.
Yeah.
Try to get non-biased information about it, you know? But hey, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want the first part, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Like it with a thumbs up.
Now, because I have watched a few people, and I do see where certain channels and certain people lean more into a bias
than others.
Yeah. And so I might have stopped watching and tuning into certain people because of it. But you ready? Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about, man. Let's get it.
High heels. A lot of them. Also bottles and bottles of Astroglide and baby oil.
Girl, you know how to say the Astroglide.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're breaking down the darkest, most disturbing details about freak-offs that have emerged in the criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
What was the most darkest in detail? Like, what's one dark detail you were like, dang, that's kind of crazy?
Everything.
But I'm saying, like, what is one that's particular?
One thing that sticks out to me.
I got one, but
you can go ahead. No, you've been watching it more than me, so.
No, I'm just because I want to hear what you.
I don't have anything like dark.
Like
everything was like.
That's like this crazy.
Everything was like, whoa, that's crazy because I didn't know that this stuff was happening.
Specifics of the candles. See, I gotta try to see what them candles. He had 10 of those specific candles.
That wasn't dark.
No. I'm gonna say that, like, the craziest thing is how, like, they said Diddy used to come in the room with his bandana and a head tucked low, butt ass naked with a white robe on, come sitting in the corner. I
guess that's wild. Like, you not saying that, you just over in the corner beating you know.
And low lights.
And I guess.
Because you already dark as hell, so just imagine.
No lights, candles, you know.
So just imagine, you come in.
I guess the fact that I'm like, a lot was going on, the way that it's described that the rooms was left with all this oil everywhere. And
they got a blowed up tub, pool, little kiddie pool, the little blow up kiddie pool.
I didn't even know that.
They had a little pool like that filled with Astroglide and baby oil.
Y'all wrestling? What's happening?
And had her rolling all in it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, one particular thing doesn't stick out. It's just like everything.
I'm like, they ain't gonna lie. When they said how he used, I said,
no, that was crazy. That was like dark. That was just like crazy to me. I was like,
it is dark because he dark as hell coming in a candle lit room.
What you mean, child?
Candle with just a white robe on with a mat. Like that's. I'm like, how the hell on, bro? Y'all trying to
a cap.
I'm like, y'all trying to rob me, ain't you?
Details about freak-offs that have emerged in the criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
He was asked, was Cassie Ventura on drugs when she was taking part in these freak-offs? He said she didn't appear to be on drugs.
Combs' favorite place to hold freak-offs.
It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he...
Boy, shut the fuck up and go... Oh, my bad. Go do your time. You killed something. Didn't the man...
I don't know. I don't even...
He's in prison right now, and I swear I feel like the man died because he ran the man over.
I don't know.
Get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So, what's the worry?
You think the President of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for sex trafficking?
On the heels...
Why you don't think he would? That's the question. Like, you really, like... What would be more shocking? Would it be more shocking that if he don't, or would it be shocking that he does? If Trump pardons him, like, when it comes down to it. Would it be shocking that Trump pardons him, or would it be more shocking that he doesn't pardon him? At least by the end of his term.
I guess for a lot of people, it'd be shocking if he don't, since he out here.
Exactly.
You get a pardon. You get a pardon. You get a pardon.
Yeah, that would be more shocking.
But everything is just crazy to me.
Of the news that Diddy's defense team is reportedly seeking a pardon from President Donald Trump comes another bombshell. David James, a former assistant to Sean Combs, testified that the disgraced mogul's preferred location to set his freak-offs was at the Trump International Hotel in New York City.
And at one point, he was even asked himself about hiring a prostitute and bringing it back to Combs' home without his knowledge, buying cocaine without Combs' knowledge. So again, it's what did Combs know? What did he not know? What were these employees doing on their own accord? Or were they really carrying out this RICO conspiracy?
James revealed that the hotel personnel knew him, quote, very well, and even gave him a key to the building as he coordinated the transportation of supplies to the various freak-offs. In a resurfaced 2012 clip from The Celebrity Apprentice, future President Trump said that he, quote, loved Combs and referred to him as a, quote, good guy.
I am a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects...
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Cassie's refusal to participate in a freak-off resulted in that hotel footage.
She claimed in her lawsuit that she was physically assaulted by Diddy. Now our team in the LA Bureau, we have got our hands on that surveillance footage, and it appears to corroborate Cassie's claims identically. Really, Jake, the lawsuit lines up with exactly what we are seeing.
If you've been following the turbulent Combs case, then you'll likely remember the disturbing security camera footage published by CNN that depicted the rapper violently attacking Cassie Ventura. Ventura, the federal government's key witness in the trial, was Combs' on-again, off-again partner for over a decade.
Diddy is one of the most powerful people in music history. He is a mogul. We have not seen any support in Hollywood. All of his famous friends, since these allegations came forward, we have not seen anyone come to his defense, and that silence is very loud, Jake.
As Ventura...
Is that silence very loud? Why would I speak out? Because then if I speak out, maybe my things will come uncovered.
I feel have we had this conversation before? Not recently, but I do feel like a lot of times when situations like this happen, like this degree of things, a lot of people do stay hush because they have skeletons as well in their closet, or things that they've done, or on the same, like, you know, playing field or whatever the case may be. They like, and it's not even like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything because I feel like it may be true. I'm not gonna say anything because who am I to speak on a situation when I do the same thing? You'll be a hypocrite. So
Bingo.
a lot of people do just, I guess, just
And I'll
choose
say
to
that.
stay silent.
And I'll say this: a lot of people don't have an ounce of understanding or knowledge of what goes on when in the entertainment business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who does have an understanding and had a access key, I could still go into the music industry if I wanted. I mean, not even the music industry. I have an entertainment industry degree. Like if I wanted a job in the entertainment business, I can go get a job in the entertainment business. It's not that hard to go do for someone like me. But it's a lot of scary shit that goes on behind them closed doors that y'all really don't want people to open. You know what I'm saying? From men and women. I know right now it appears that it's a lot of men are being targeted, but the same way there's power for men in the industry, there's power for women in the industry. And once you start unraveling them doors, a lot of people we had held like somewhat respected will crumble fast and quick in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? So even at low levels, people start using that power for other people. I've seen it firsthand at a lower level where people manipulate the situation to benefit them because now they have a lot access to more. And so especially towards women, like, hey, you know, it's like a control thing. Everybody wants to control when they have a step up.
Yeah.
And then I 100% do agree. Diddy is 100% guilty of abuse in relationship. I'll never take that away. But I did detail. I've been listening, and I rewatched that video in the hotel, and I watched it several times. Can it validate that Cassie was running from a freak off? No. Was Cassie running away from something? Yes. But it can't. To me, it does not 100% cooperate the fact that she was running away from a freak off. One, we don't know what was going on in the room. We always see Diddy come out in the towel, and typically the way she's dressed and the way she carries herself in a freak off is different. I don't want to go into like. If you want to have a conversation, you can hit me up in the Discord. I don't mind talking to you about it because I have talked to some about it in the Discord, right? But listening to certain testimony, I'm like, it's not matching certain details pertaining to the freak off in that element of the altercation. Now, I do believe she was trying to get away from him in some shape, or was she just trying to leave the relationship at one time? Because she does do that often pertaining to the evidence and what people have spoke to. There's times she want to be with him, there's times she wants to get away from him. But as far as there was an act of freak out going on, I don't think it 100% cooperate that. Do you agree?
Yeah,
I'm saying, do you agree, disagree?
I haven't watched the video multiple times, but you've brought things to my attention. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Like as far as like, cause you be talking vague. So as far as like, the way she's dressed, no, it doesn't.
I see that.
It doesn't correlate with what we have been, what's been described as to how she is when a freak off is going on or whatever the case may be, or the time of day that it looks like that you know the freak off normally happens late from what we've been
have observed.
Well, I'm about to say the male escorts and stuff.
They
have gotten on stand
witnesses.
and said. Okay, witnesses. What they have gotten on stand, but I want to just be clear.
Okay.
Witnesses. That's vague too. It's a lot of people that's done. But
what's
what
his
they
name?
have
Daniel and the Punisher.
Yeah, what they have like normally, like what time of day these freak offs normally take place and stuff
how
like
they're
that,
contacting and all
of that. So yeah, but again, most definitely, she was trying to get away from something, and it's a matter of what was going on in that room beforehand. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? But it was something for her to be like, I need to get out of here. I need to get away or whatever the case may be. So yeah, definitely like from that and just from photos, from bruises and scars and things of that nature. Yeah, we do definitely know that
there was some domestic.
He was Yes, there was some domestic violence going on. Most
I didn't want to
definitely.
say that because you gotta censor yourself for YouTube purposes.
Okay.
You don't want to say certain words.
Okay, some DV going on. Golly.
You already said it.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying going forward.
Thank you.
Ventura testified in May 2025. That 2016 footage was the result of her trying to leave one of the freak-offs. Said Rachel Maiman, a former federal prosecutor for the Southern District of New York, quote, "It sets the stage for the rest of the case, where the prosecution is going to have to back up her testimony with all of their evidence."
Pretty quickly over time, I knew the freak-offs weren't something I wanted to be doing, she said, especially how frequently. I didn't feel like I had much choice. I didn't know if he would be upset enough to be violent or if he would write me off and just not want to be with me at all.
Combs had employees on...
Does her text message towards him validate that statement? Or her reaching out to him, especially that one time where the movie came out and he was congratulating her and she said, "I want to see you." Basically, she reached out to him and told him, "Hey, I want to do a FO this weekend." And he told her, "Well, that's cool with me. I'm down." Set everything
What are you
up.
asking me?
I said, do those two statements correlate with each other? We have the text messages of the time, and they read that information out, which was part of the evidence. Can you stand by? If she said that in the text message, she indicated that you wanted to go through. Does that contradict each other? Of her saying she never wanted to partake in any.
And then her having a text message basically
asking
asking him. Then, yeah, it contradicts.
payroll to operate freak-offs.
Now, the last witness to take the stand was George Kaplan, a former assistant to Sean Combs, who says one of his responsibilities was to set up Diddy's hotel rooms. The first time he unpacked his bag, he said he found baby oil, Astroglide, candles, and liquor. The other times, he'd have to buy the items on his corporate card. He also had to make sure the rooms were in polished shape before checkout to protect Diddy's image.
While the man formerly known as Puff Daddy is currently the only defendant facing criminal charges, it is abundantly clear that he couldn't have gotten away with it all by himself. To that end, the federal indictment against Combs alleges that he, quote, used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex, and that, quote, those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates acted as Combs' intermediaries.
There was an incident he talked about where he felt he could not follow Combs' orders. It involved a personal chef, Chef Jourdan, where supposedly there was an altercation between her and Combs. Combs asked James to...
She hasn't took the stand yet, has she? The chef.
No, I don't think so, no.
Go to the police and file a report claiming that the chef had been the aggressor.
These employees were responsible for, among other responsibilities, procuring baby oil, as well as booking and cleaning hotel rooms. In addition, they were expected to deliver both commercial sex workers and large amounts of cash to pay them with.
And he said he was instructed by Diddy to pick up drugs 2 times. Both times, he testified, Diddy gave him cash to pay for it and gave him a number to call someone to pick it up. Now, tomorrow we'll continue with his testimony, with George Kaplan's testimony, but after Kaplan, we expect to see rapper Kid Cudi on the stand.
Meet the Punisher.
As I described in the text, they were very subtle. Mr. Combs was always basically across the room, and it would be in a low tone, and it would just be suggestive. It was nothing aggressive, nothing that would create some sort of scenario that this was like unnatural between them.
Just so it's clear.
And so this is an individual. Y'all can look him up, bro. When I first heard that, we looked him up. We said, "Oh shit!" It caught us by surprise. But I think he honestly, on his end, I don't think there's anything for him to hide. I think he's gonna 100% tell the truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even the Daniel guy. I think the Daniel guy was his testimony was a little weird because it came off as somebody who gained feelings. Mm-hmm. Which he low-key insinuated he caught feelings for Cassie through all of this. All the escorts basically came out and said they thought they were the only one who was in on this. Yeah. And then they ended up finding out other people more into it. Yeah. They found out other people was involved and they was like, it was caught him off guard. But also one thing I will say, because typically with a RICO, you see multiple individuals charged. It's very rare to see one individual charged, and when it comes down to a racketeering case, it's typically a crime organization. So you're charging everybody,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and not just one individual by itself. So that's one thing that was kind of weird as far as the government side of it. I'm like, why? Um, and another thing, because from the escorts, they both stated on the stand, and this is where it brings up questions even on the defense and a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
Is both escorts said they were only contacted by Cassie. They were paid by Cassie, and that's the main person they only communicated with was Cassie. She will fly them out. So technically, if Diddy is involved from that standpoint, I also feel like it's though, even though Cassie is looked at as their key eyewitness, I also feel like if that's the case, if he's been charged with basically sex trafficking, if they're communicating with her, that would be sex trafficking too, right? Because remember we had looked it up. We was like, what is the true definition and breakdown what sex trafficking is? It is the services of basically flying someone out to engage in sexual activity in exchange for monetary gain. Cassie was the one flying out. And I'm not attacking the victim. I'm not. She was the one who contacted the escorts. She was the one who communicated and picked the guys out. Because one of them did say they met her in a club. Because you remember I heard different variations.
Yeah.
Each variation had similar, but they kept opening and getting more detail. And they had one of the escorts, Cassie had originally met him in a club or somewhere else with somebody. And he met her through somebody else.
Yeah.
And then Cassie reached out to him and booked him to come. And Cassie booked on the false pretense, and she opened the door and informed him of everything that was going to happen and offered the money, gave him the money, and then offered him even more money later. And she's booking the flights, that would be sex trafficking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which a lot of people are wondering, since they're using Cassie as their main star witness, because even by open nose, she's doing illegal activity by even stating, and that's what I was wondering. I was like, can sex trafficking is that more pertaining to women or men? You know how the law is. The law can be very vague, sometimes more specified than other times. And a lot of people are wondering, does she have immunity? Because they're wanting to know, are y'all really just are we trying to shut this down, or are we just shutting one individual down?
Yeah.
And so it's opened up that question of, could Cassie possibly have immunity to back up? Because she's a part of the RICO too, it was saying.
Seems that so. I mean, from what we've heard, I mean that's what it is, but it doesn't seem that that's the direction that they are pushing or going. So it's more so, let's just get the head.
But that's not a racketeering
I know,
case.
but that's why I just been confused. That's why I've been kind of like
chiming in.
I've been chiming in here and there. I just don't want it to consume me, because I'm just like, it's just too much. I don't really understand, so I don't know.
Scenario that this was like unnatural between them.
Just so it's clear, we're not talking about Frank Castle. No, in this case, the Punisher is the stage name of exotic dancer Sheree Hayes, whose testimony revealed several bizarre, previously unknown aspects of the freak-offs. Said the BBC, Hayes, quote, was hired to create sexy, erotic scenes with Combs' then-girlfriend Cassie, while a naked man watched from the corner.
If there was no accusations, like in hindsight, all this stuff is in hindsight, like in the moment, I didn't see it as anything but a couple doing something risque, and Cassie as a partner trying to create a fantasy for who I believed was her husband, and for the majority of this.
Perhaps strangest of all were the conditions under which Hayes was expected to work. Not only was he instructed to completely ignore the aforementioned naked man, but Diddy wore a veil to cover his face. Hayes testified that over 8 to 12 encounters with the two, quote, Combs watched and gave directions. The directions included adjusting candles and instructing the two to have sex.
The sighing and the wincing was associated with some of the direction was very specific, and it could be one after the other in terms of move the candle to the left, move it a little more, and now move your body a little more, stuff like that. And it was kind of unnatural for a scenario where you're trying to create a sexual situation.
Meet Jonathan Odie.
New at noon, the man accused of opening fire inside the Trump National Doral Resort made his first appearance in court. Jonathan Odie is facing several charges. Among them, he's being held without bond on 2 charges on a $4 million bond on a second-degree murder charge.
The South African-born Odie first...
Would it surprise you his ass came to court?
Yeah, that would surprise me.
Man, if they pull him and the other dude, I'll be like, damn, y'all really want the man? I think he had a mental breakdown from something else. Because you saw the scene, him shooting. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Then the other escort they were dealing with, he's in prison for what, for murder? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rose to notoriety in 2018 after storming the Trump National Doral Miami and engaging in a firefight and chase with police. A particularly confusing detail was Odie's reported references to Diddy at the time, which were explained somewhat by the ongoing trial.
I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business, because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave.
Oh, he said Sean would be the one talking. He'll be talking on the phone. Remember, they said sometimes Diddy would not be in a room.
Yeah.
And he'll be in another room and be like more like they're on
they're on
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Oh. So when he was doing it, Diddy wasn't necessarily in the room. He was in the other room.
Okay.
Cassie Ventura identified him as one of the escorts that Combs had hired for the freak-offs, and that his 2018 claims of being a, quote, sex slave actually bore some merit. Odie elaborated in a Miami Herald interview from prison, stating that,
well, are you a sex slave then? Because they'll reach out, it was like voluntarily. From the details they've had with the...
That's just the verbiage she used, but I don't look at it like that.
That he'd sometimes been requested to wear a police officer uniform, and that he made $800 per quote-unquote performance.
I decided to record that. So, in the event anything worse happened, like if she died, or anybody died, it will be on camera, it will be on video, what happened. So, I wouldn't be responsible for any of that.
How Combs guaranteed freak-off participation.
And then she was asked, after the defense had suggested she might have been motivated by money here, would she give back the $20 million that Sean Combs gave her as part of a civil settlement? She said, I would give the money back because I would have agency and autonomy, and I wouldn't have to work so hard to get those things back.
During her often disturbing testimony, Cassie frequently spoke of the ways that Combs would attempt to control her and ensure her submission. In one such case, Diddy allegedly forced her to carry one of his many firearms. She has retroactively described it as a scare tactic.
It reminds me of R. Kelly case. This is about money, power, and sex.
Not unlike what he did with Cassie, Combs is described in the indictment as using his considerable power and influence to rope unwilling victims into participating. As the document describes, these methods included, quote, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence.
The culture of silence was colossal. You know, it really protected Sean for a number of years.
These people think that they're so powerful that was never going to catch up with them.
Combs prepped to freak off while waiting to be arrested.
Now the Sean Diddy Combs investigation, new surveillance video.
You knew that.
Wait, he did what?
So if y'all remember when he was coming in from hanging with his kids that day, he was coming in and he got arrested in the lobby. He had a freak off prep already going. in the room. So when after they arrested him, they went and raided his room. He had it set up with baby oil and the other things he used for the freak off.
Okay.
So even having that prep up also validates that you do these freak offs. But also, is freak offs guilty? Like, can you be guilty for having a freak off?
Are you saying?
Well, I mean,
freak
not
offs a
guilty,
crime?
but is having a freak off a crime?
That's the question. But yeah,
I guess once money is exchanged, then it's a crime. But like we always say, what's the difference between that and a like an OnlyFans? People who do OnlyFans, people who do things in the P industry. You know what I'm saying? In the adult industry, what's the difference? Because people are getting paid for, they're getting flown out and paid for.
Yeah,
for those acts.
and I think, yeah. True, because I
one is legal and one is illegal.
I wonder, and then like in this case, I guess they had cameras.
They had cameras.
They had the scene,
and they had a scene.
Has to be
so
for it to be considered.
So from my education, which was weird, I was like, why we even talk about this in class? And I forgot what class it was I had in college. But as far as the industry, for it to be classified and legal, there has to be a scripted scene. The scripted scene is Cassie comes out. She comes to the door. The dude dressed up as this exotic police officer.
You don't have to play it out, but there has to be some type of. You don't have to, yeah.
There has to be some kind of like movie type scene, and the movie type scene is the guy coming in with the
well, whatever outfit it is.
Majority of the time, policeman.
Okay, a policeman.
And he's coming in, and they're acting, aka acting out a scene. So, from legal standpoint, that's illegal. And I guess that's the reason why they made you show up in a police officer's uniform. It's a damsel in distress, and I need you to come caress me.
I don't know, child.
Shows Combs being taken into custody.
The mogul's long career in music came to a decisive end following his September 2024 arrest at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. You might have heard that part. The part you might not have known about would be the fact that, despite the knowledge that he would have to surrender to authorities, he was undergoing prep to hold yet another freak-off. The publicly released images of Combs' hotel room were what gave rise to the now infamous baby oil memes, and a grim insight into how he worked and operated.
I want to know what woman he was about to have a freak off with.
What was the room? I'm just wondering. Was the room like set up as like about to get ready to have it, or was it just in his bag, in his luggage? Because he had his kids with him.
Also, he did have his kids with him, but also don't forget what they have all said. The assistants go in the room and set the room up. Because somebody went in the room and set it up. Some people do get framed. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not on that.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that.
But I'm not on that. I'm just wondering, like, was it already set up when y'all went up to see, that it was it, or did y'all just find like all the stuff in his bags?
That too, or did somebody just go up there and set it up like that, knowing that y'all was at the hotel? Because I'm saying what I'm basically trying to say is, don't get it twisted. Everybody that they keep bringing onto the stand to testify are his assistants, former assistants, that said they were setting up everything for. They had a key access. So Diddy is not the only person with access to his rooms.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying.
I'm not saying that's definitely exactly what happened.
Yeah, I just wonder because I'm like, oh dang, his kids was with him. So what was you, huh?
Yeah,
but yeah, anyway.
That's crazy though, right?
According to Special Agent Yasin Binda, some of the mysterious powders and substances found in the room were determined to be the narcotics ketamine and MDMA.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold austere facility.
Combs carefully planned out the freak-offs.
On the stand, we did hear from a male escort who was testifying about his interactions with Cassie Ventura during those freak-offs. He described in graphic detail how they would begin with massages and baby oil as Sean Diddy Combs would be in the corner and he would be taking care of himself at those times.
Like a supervillain orchestrating his master plan, Diddy was allegedly tightly in control of all aspects of the freak-offs. And we mean all aspects. Per Cassie's testimony and as described by the New York Times, quote, assistants and security guards would stock the room with condoms, baby oil, and Astroglide, a lubricant.
Also, some exhibits of a hotel room where some of the freak-offs would end up taking place. You can see that picture that was right there that we were just showing. That's showing some of the Astroglide as well as that baby oil. This is inside one of those hotel rooms where all that damage took place.
Cassie also testified that...
Or is that for him throwing the vase?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looked like the hall.
The hallway where they got his... Yeah. It don't look like damages from
well, it's still damages.
No, I'm saying from them. Yeah. The FOs.
That Combs, quote, asked that the baby oil be heated and that he wanted her glistening with it, requiring that she apply it in frequent intervals. Ventura.
Girl, you heard did you listen to when he said how they apply it's warm.
Oh yeah, they said it in like
warm it up.
Hot water or something.
You set the bottle in hot water. You don't get it scorching hot.
Yeah,
you microwave the water a little bit, then you sit in there just so.
Okay, I don't need a breakdown.
And they say how the rooms are not cold. He prefers the room to be hot.
A little warm or like hot where we sweating.
Sweating.
So I don't like to sweat now. So just imagine hotel, because some hotel rooms be getting hot.
And that's why they say it'd be a little
funky.
A little funky in there. Cause they asked her to explain.
You got all this stuff going on. You got.
They asked her to explain. Yeah. And sometimes on her time.
Oh yeah.
And so there would be. And you got pee and stuff going on too.
God.
So just imagine what the fumes are really. It's already hot.
You know that question you asked me in the beginning. That'll be it because I forgot all of it. That would be it because that's.
So just imagine.
Okay, I don't.
Not. Let's imagine. I'm just saying, like it's hot, sweaty. We done had
Pissy.
this interaction, and that already be.
And then y'all talking about hours.
Yeah. Cause they had a section. I think they said it was a 4-part session. The first starts off with they rub each other.
Yeah.
And then the other part is the baby oil. And then the other part is oral. And then the other part is penetration.
Yeah.
And that's the
and
I think they supposed to finish every time. I'm like, damn, you're going to come up with a shortage. And eventually, a 4-part, you can come up with a shortage.
That's what I did.
But that's the reason why they said they went from, in the beginning, so a lot of them said, majority of the ones that didn't talk said they went from strong to, I can't come up no more, man.
Even went so far as to describe the freak-offs as, quote, very choreographed and explicitly tailored to realize his voyeuristic personal fantasies.
He was testifying that he was responsible for stocking the hotel room. Let's take a look at some of his testimony. He was saying the items that he was required to get included 25 to 30 pill bottles, which included ecstasy as well as Percocet, food, drinks, personal items such as baby oil, lubricant, as well as condoms.
Combs and his participants needed IV replenishment afterwards. The freak-offs have been reported to last for days at a time, becoming a physically and emotionally exhausting experience for those strong-armed into participating. Part of Combs'...
Remember one man said he came into one, and she was in there with another man. He was like, what the hell? And then he said that's how he realized I ain't the only one, because she was already engaged with another man. And so we come in to wait my turn. Hell no.
I was just like, does it be like any cleaning up in between?
Probably not.
I'm talking about like myself. Cause
you know what? They never talked about how they like afterwards. What they do? They just said they would just sit there and wait. So you got your sweaty ass sitting on the couch. See, that's why I don't be sitting on couches and shit up. I don't even like going into hotels because you just don't never know who done did what in this room before you.
It just be a lot. It was a lot.
So just imagine what they doing on the lower levels.
Yeah.
This the penthouse. Just imagine what they doing on the lower levels. You know.
His employees' responsibilities, as noted in the federal indictment, was securing large quantities of IV fluids to help with his recovery afterwards. Cassie testified that alongside the IV fluids, Combs would provide massages and professionally cooked meals. Even those supposed kindnesses came with a dark side. Given the frequency of the freak-offs, Cassie noted that her reliance on the fluids left her with an opioid addiction. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe.
I wonder if she's still kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know she went to rehab at one point, but it sounded like she went to rehab for something else and not because of drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really know. I can't speak on that. I know she went to rehab. I just don't know for what. Like.
Well, they said she tried to, and she told her husband, "You can take care of the kids.
Yeah,
I'm gone." So.
Filmed, and Combs held on to the footage.
She also testified that Combs first proposed the freak-offs after he began physically abusing her. After the first time, she said, "I was high, so there was not much feeling, a mixture of dirty and confusion. I was humiliated." She also said the freak-offs were very choreographed. They happened in hotel rooms around the world, New York City, Atlanta, LA, Miami, Turks and Caicos, as well as Ibiza.
Perhaps most disturbing.
And in both of them own house. Which that was crazy enough to me. I'm like, y'all gonna do it in your own bed. I mean, in the hotels, you know what I'm saying? But invite somebody back to your house to do it, that's weird, bro. Damn, it was something else I was trying to point out. For those who might not know, the FOs started happening like a little after a year after they got together. They got together when she was 21. Well, not a little while after she turned 21. That's when they first kissed. She said she was in his hotel room. They was in his bathroom talking, and he leaned in to kiss. And what you had kind of pointed out that situation, was like, how...
Was it a party or something? Like, what was
I don't know.
significance of being in a bathroom?
What was the significance of being in his room?
And being in a bathroom, it was a hotel?
Hotel room. In his bathroom in his hotel room. She was at the time dating Ryan Leslie. He was still dating Kim Porter. And she said it caught her off guard because she was like, what about Ryan? What about Kim?
Yeah.
And a little while after that, that's when they started dating because they started spending way more time together. They started dating. Yeah. A year after that, that's when he introduced her to oral, if you know what I'm talking about. Hygiene, if you know what I'm talking about. And then a little while after that, that's when he approached her and said, I'm into Voyager. I like to, saying, I want to see you what you have with another man. And she said she was all down for it. She was like, it was kind of strange, but anything to make him happy.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. The abuse hadn't started yet. None of the physical abuse. It started after the FOs kind of started. The Voyager experience. Yeah. Which they later, nobody knows who came up with the term, the freak-off term. Because they asked her who came up with the term. She said, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Of all, it's now public knowledge that Diddy allegedly conspired to have the freak-offs filmed and used as blackmail and extortion material. In one hard-to-stomach incident, Cassie recalled Combs playing a video of a sexual encounter in public.
They never seemed to make eye contact with one another, not even after she was crying about having loved him once and planning and participating in these freak-off sex parties because she feared him and she wanted to make him happy, but feeling worthless, feeling disgusting because she didn't want to do it.
In a 2013 recording played by Diddy's lawyers, Cassie is heard threatening a man who claims to have such footage. David James, Diddy's...
Because she didn't want to do it.
In a 2013 recording played by Diddy's lawyers, Cassie is heard threatening a man who claims to have such footage. David James, Diddy's ex-assistant, also testified that Combs claimed to have kept a video of James dancing while on drugs, implying that he would hold on to it, quote, in case I ever need it.
Protecting him and protecting his public image was very important, and that was something I was very keen on doing. Now, Cassie testified that.
But what public image would you have if you just an assistant? Like, how could he put out the video? I'm nobody but an assistant. Like, what shame is that? Unless you were doing some other
other stuff, maybe getting out to his family and stuff like that.
But supposedly he was just high dancing.
Yeah.
But what?
Kaplan quit after seeing Diddy abuse her. Now, we haven't heard that from him yet, but he is back on the stand in the morning.
Which freak-off revelation shocked you the most? Be sure to let us know in the comments.
Stuff y'all ain't even talked about.
It's so much. I'm just like...
And we did find out who, if you have been paying attention to the trial, we are aware who Mia is. I'm not going to put that information out. It is easy to find on the internet. We seen videos of her at the time praising Diddy. Which kind of contradicts her testimony a little bit. But who knows? But if you wondering who Mia is, trust and believe, a simple Google search, it took me probably 2-3 minutes, and I found out who she is.
That's that. If you want to know, you can find it.
And seen some other videos.
Yeah.
See some videos. Rest of her life is private, so you know it is what it is. That's a private life. It is a woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's about much we can speak on publicly. But I'm not in the court, so I don't think I can be. You know, but hey, just for her privacy. But you can find that out. I don't know. It's starting to look bad for Diddy. But also the defense hasn't presented their case yet. Yeah. And they have a chance to present their case right now. It's just the prosecutors presenting their case. Yeah. And then it's going to be the defense, and then they're going to be able to do closing.
I will say, if they don't come, I guess, stronger, then...
Yeah. It's looking bad right now.
It's looking bad, so...
But it's like I said, but it's always up to how they present their case. Yeah. If they can present their case way better, I do believe it will be a hung jury. Because also what kind of kills me with this case is a lot of the witnesses have been friends for so long, and they are so much in conversation, and there's stories are starting to sound very
with each other.
While court proceedings are going on. So we're not privy to the information and conversation they're having. But also, all of their stories is very much so the same. It's even to the effect of what was done to them.
And somebody will probably combat that and be like, well, it's the same because it's what happened. It's the truth. And then somebody be like, this has been what has been fed to them to say. Yeah. So you could look at it either way. Yeah. But who knows? We don't know. We'll have to see. Like I keep saying, see how it plays out. But it's not looking too good right now, though. Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C.
We are.